it gives, when you go live, it has a flash up on the scene that you have to X out of that says it wants you to have a moderator. So, St. Patrick's Day. Who was St. Patrick? Why the fame? What did this character accomplish? The thesis I am pushing forth is that Ireland was not easily conquered by Rome, but through St. Patrick and Christianity, Ireland was in fact taken over by Rome through Britain. And both Rome and Britain, as being merely pawns, because they were theologically conquered by the creators of Christianity, destruction of the Roman Empire, Abrahamic Christianity. So St. Patrick Day should be a great day of mourning, for our culture got wiped out. Language eventually replaced. Our turned into enemies, the evil pagan or heathen. Pagan simply meaning somebody who did not succeed in getting conquested by the Judeo-Christian mind virus. Driving out the snakes, code for driving out our teaching of that we find in every other culture that got wiped out or demonized is the same as Quetzalcoatl, the serpent, the flying serpent from South America. Kundalini in Hinduism in the East. Chi, prana, vril, life force energy. The workings of our electromagnetic energy battery. We pretty much are. Yeah, I think freaking demons might be like real demons. See, that's the thing. Lots of them, they demonized our gods. Call us multi-god having polytheistic as a degrading term. When you actually go further into what these other religions is, that the Trinity isn't so monotheistic, and because of its lack of seemingly monotheistic ism, it's not seen as a Noahide compliant religion as Islam is. The laws of Noah being the 7 laws given to Noah that apply to all mankind. not just the 613 laws or of, of the Torah, expounded upon the Mishnah, the Talmud, and the number one rule, and they push the Noahide laws in our schools with the moment of silence for the uh, Rebbe of Chabad, Lubavitch Schneerson, who was a raving supremic as much of the source religion of the Abrahamic religions is. Anyway, we have this religious supremacy that does seep into Christianity and Islam some. If you're not with us, you're the infidel, and how that life is not as valuable. If you're not saved, you're going to the lake of fire for eternal punishment. You're not one of us. The only way to salvation is through Jesus, a Jewish man, fictional character. That theological idea was hemorrhaged. The idea of God the Father and God the Mother having a child God, a half man, half God. It's nothing unique to Christianity. We have it in Hercules. We have it in Apollo. We have it as the product, the sun usually being the product of the relationship of Mercury and Venus, Jupiter and Swan. It's all allegorical, metaphorical for the cosmological um, makeup, worldview. So instead of talking about it in scientific terms, strictly materialistic, they speak about it in a narrative with a myth to explain how we got here, what we're here to do, the nature of ultimate reality. Modern science strips any meaning, metaphysical connection to science, strictly materialistic. But we look at the material and spirituality. We look at in theology. We look at material world as an expression of spirit, with the idea that things start in the invisible realm and then come into the visible realm. Like a thought comes into the production of a movie when people come together and whatnot. Just the laws of manifestation of nature, those are gods themselves. And then the planets take up those archetypes in their appearance, in their relation, in their movings, in their comings and their goings. So we come up with a syncretic cosmology through astrology, astrotheology, come up with modern myths that can encapsulate and bring people together to fortify, strengthen us in truth, justice, beauty, health, societal health, mental health, sociological health. And it is not going to come, and it hasn't come from the Judeo-Christian paradigm the enemy was given a worldview that their reward is in the next life for its sacrifice to this one God. Henotheism is what Judaism is. It's not the denying of others' gods. Other gods go with other people's people. The people of Ireland had certain gods. And if you were to come in to our country, it would be befitting to honor those gods, which would be honoring our traditions and culture, heritage, humanity, uniqueness, strength, pride, to come in and wipe down, crumble them, kill the leaders, kill the priests, kill the priestesses, call them pagan witches, demon worshippers, devil worshippers, getting us to turn the other cheek, getting us to love our enemy, getting your enemy to adopt that worldview is a great way to conquer them, especially when you don't have the military might. Then they use nefarious means, by means of deception, infiltrating, subverting the very stories that make up the fabric that are woven into the very cloth of the Judeo Old Testament narrative. Joseph into Egypt, Moses into Egypt. Subverting it, taking it over, and then crumbling it. Taking over the supplies, the resources. Infanticide, how about that? Just killing all the first newborns. A total fictional thing that never fucking happened. A made up genocide. No, you think that someone would have recorded all the firstborns being killed in Egypt? Holy shit. So, what can we, so first of all, what can we do for St. Patrick's Day is awareness of that. Ours are some, we just have to accept how that's what happened. But we should, lots of our Irish mythos got incorporated into Christianity, such as Saint Bridget. Sorry, bad shoddy connection. Was a druid who got said that Saint converted him. Mother, that's some shit. Other things like bring back snakes, bring back the knowledge of life force energy working. A connection with nature instead of a raping and a looting of it. Celebration of the divine feminine instead of a whoring, prostituting out of it. Objectifying. Forced marrying them into slavery, slavery in Ireland, white slaves. And yet, you're not even allowed to talk about that. Debunked. There were never any white Irish slaves. They're indentured servants. Ireland has a long history of getting, because their island is a small island. The people are coming in and conquering them. But, or poisoning their fucking food. Shit that still fucking goes on today. Sorry, I was cursing, and anger is not it's a sign of an unhealthy ego, I believe. It really is. I know I debate that one in my head. And overly emotional talking is not a sign of. That's a sign of manic depressive. Yes. So I do want to try to work on finding that middle ground. I got a new phone holder. Great angle. It's a little bumpy, but I should get it. I need it. They should have image stabilizers on phones. I'm sure they do, to make sure that's cooking. What else? Yeah, some our folk Irish traditions, and alcohol. We get drunk. Alcohol. I'm guilty. It runs in my bloodline. Lots of druids who are just like, especially in my familial lineage, who were like poets, bards, who wound up like getting drunk. Usually they're assistants to the kings. The kings were like the O'Briens, where there was a couple of famous kings. But really, it's that the planets and the constellations are the part of what the Irish folklore was painted onto, and are carried forth the Proto-Indo-European, Proto-Indo-Iranian um, mythos. It's pretty, it's pretty wild that the similarities in between like how like this religious narrative came out from one place, and it's the same one that we find in Hinduism and remnants of it in the Greek stories, epics, Rome, Egypt, the twins, one killing another twin, Cain and Abel, Set and Osiris, Jacob and Esau. Jacob and Esau being scapegoating Esau for the sins of Jacob, Israel. Esau being the Gentile, Goy, non pure Abrahamist. Guess what? Judaism isn't really even that monotheistic either. Look no further than to the Kabbalistic tree of life to find such things. And the gods, our heroes, they hung on the tree of death, the shadow of the tree of life, the darkness that couldn't take the light of Yahweh's creator, ultimately. Yahweh is a chesed on the Kabbalistic tree of life. Jupiter turned to Saturn. Yahweh, Yah in Greek, IOA. Also, John, the name Ioannis comes from that. Uranus, the king of the heavens, is Chokmah, actually, the third person of the Trinity, the third Sephiroth on the tree of life. I'm pulling up my job site. I hope you enjoyed this little St. Patrick's message. We have a lot of songs about mourning. They go together to an Irish bar, and they go around and the other guys with Will Ferrell, where they have like fucked up lyrics, so and they ravaged our woman and poisoned our potatoes. Sad. But let us be thankful that this good stuff's coming out. Canadian Anon, thank you for tuning in. I love you all, and I might do on my other channels. I might do something tonight, an anti St. Patrick's Day party. Sorry, I know it might be offensive to some, but That's just how we do. Leave our potatoes alone, Thor mid-uns, yes.